Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad AIDID NAZUAR bin Muhammad ADNI. My matric is number 1192295. Coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 was first discovered in Wuhan, China on 31st December 2019. 1 month later, WHO or World Health Organization declared the COVID-19 outbreak as a global health emergency. The world is aware of this virus but remains calm as just a few cases reported all around the world. However, it started to get worse as WHO declared the COVID-19 as a global pandemic on 11 March 2020. The last time WHO announced a global pandemic was on 2009, which is the influenza pandemic caused by H1N1 virus. Many countries started to close their borders and avoid any tourists to come in to avoid infections. In Malaysia, the government has announced their first Movement Control Order or MCO on 18 March 2020 and public are asked to practice social distance and in a crowded area and wearing masks. This pandemic has affected many businesses all over the world, including money and capital market. Money market and capital market are two different things that we must know. Money market can be best defined as a short-term financial assets that are traded on stock exchange. Basically, the assets must have a liquidity of 1 year or less. There are a variety of instruments traded in the money market such as treasury bills, certificates of deposits, commercial agreement, and repurchase agreement. Since the securities being traded are highly liquid, the money market is considered as a safe place to invest. Capital market is a long-term investment where funds are exchanged between suppliers of the capital and those who demand the capital. The example of instruments traded are mortgage loans, municipal bonds, consumer loans, and sukuk. Basically, capital market are for those who can put it to long-term productive use such as corporations and governments. Raising the fund of investment in the Islamic money and capital market must follow with Islamic principles and laws known as Sharia. Islam stated that market must be free from activities that are prohibited in Islam such as riba, gambling, usury, and ambiguity. Islamic money and capital market plays an important role in the economic growth and development of the country. It balancing the role in the Islamic banking system in expanding and strengthening the Islamic financial market in every part of the world. At this time, markets have made a progress and Islamic finance has recognized itself as a main factor of the global financial system with a good growth, so it can offer various modes of investment and financing opportunities to individuals and corporations. The COVID-19 pandemic has badly affected the global financial market, which weakened the performance in the stock market. However, despite the devastating effects of the pandemic, money and capital market in some countries are doing well. For example, Malaysia's money and capital has proven to be one of it, as the market showed overall growth of 7% from 2019 to 2020. Therefore, our group has decided to study on 3 money and capital instruments, which are fintech, Islamic bond or sukuk, and zakat, and how their roles to recover from COVID-19 pandemic.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad HAKIMI bin ROHAIZAD. My matric number is 1192289. Role that we are going to cover is fintech. Fintech is a combination of the word financial and technology and defined as the integration of technology into the usage of financial services. Fintech has many functions, but its main role is to help companies and consumers manage their day-to-day financial activities better.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad NABIL bin NAIM and my matric number is 1192222. The Islamic fintech is suggested to help in 3 phases, which is short term, medium term and long term, to restore the economy post COVID-19. Short term period is less than a year that helps as an emergency support system to the economy. In this period, fintech can help to distribute financial aid towards society. Financial services that are suitable currently are zakat, qard hasan and sadaqah. We move on to the medium term. This phase needs 1 to 5 years to rebuild the foundation of economy of business, especially SMEs and household. This phase is important as it will bring a new life toward the economy that damaged badly due to COVID-19. Fintech-based crowdfunding and peer-to-peer lending is a promising idea because it is a simple, faster, cheaper and more affordable way to obtain funds from the public. Lastly is long term, where this phase needs more than 5 years to make sure that the resilience of the economy is preserved because the cash flow is expected to be solid and reliable. Blockchain-based wakaf, social suku and smart contract is needed to enhance the resilience of the economy in the long run period.
The advantages of fintech. Fintech has many advantages. For example, fintech is parallel with social distancing because since the pandemic, we've been urged to maintain a social distancing. As COVID is likely to stay, people will use fintech more and more to manage their financial activities because it is obeying the social distancing guideline. Plus, fintech also encourages cashless post-pandemic society. Since this virus is contagious, people will become more and more careful whenever they spend their money because they don't want to touch or exchange their cash because the risk of contamination. However, fintech also have its own disadvantages. Firstly, fintech can contribute to global disparity. Since fintech is technological based, only people with the best internet connection and a decent gadget can access it, meaning a part of the world population, such as the poor country, won't be able to use it. They have no choice but to use the traditional ways for their financial activities. Furthermore, since fintech is digitalized, it always has the risk of cybercrime, such as privacy and security breaching. Since fintech always been targeted by hackers, this will always create fear among fintech users.
The next instrument of Islamic money and capital market is Islamic bond or sukuk. Sukuk is an Arabic word which is a plural of sak, that means certificate. In general, sukuk is an investment certificate needed to finance new activities where profits and losses are shared between the sukuk issuer and the sukuk holder. Sukuk is contrary to conventional bonds where the conventional bond is charging or paying an agreed interest rate. Sukuk plays an important part in the development of Islamic money and capital market. It is a Sharia compliance where it can boost the standard of living in Islamic society and developing their economies. Other than that, sukuk also well suited for smart management of risk. Islamic securities can be issued with different degrees of risk, so investors are allowed to choose a portfolio best suited for their risk management profiles. It is important to note that risk in sukuk is more difficult to manipulate than other types of securities. This is because the value and risk of sukuk is always related to real assets with provable and tangible value, rather than a manipulation in debt or credit ratings.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is FIKRI, metric number 1192230. So in this slide, I will explain about sukuk prihatin that imposed by Malaysian government. Sukuk prihatin was imposed by Malaysian government. It is a step that taken by the government to help those who are in need in this post-pandemic period due to the COVID-19 itself, since it caused economic recession, especially in Malaysia. So these are the details of sukuk prihatin. First, it was valued at 500 million ringgit. Second, the period of sukuk prihatin was 2 years, starting 22 September 2020 to 21 September 2022. And the last one is objective. It was collecting money and distribute to those who are in need. Sukuk for Indonesia SMEs. In Indonesia, this sukuk was imposed due to generous reason, where it drives their government to make this decision which will help reboot its economic back. So these are the factors. In 2018, the SME size in Indonesia are huge. It was amounted at 64.19 million enterprise, or equal to 99.99% of its business sector. And number two, the employment rate is high. There are 120 8.59 million active employees in Indonesia SMEs in 2018. The last one, SMEs Indonesia contribute around 8.57 billion rupiah or equivalent to 61.1% towards its GDP or national income. With this strong data in detail, we believe imposing sukuk for Indonesia SMEs was a right call from the government in this post-pandemic of COVID-19.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amir bin ADNAN and my matrix number is 1192218. So now we will continue with what is the definition of zakat. Zakat is one of Islam's 5 pillars, along with shahadah, salat, fasting, paying zakat and also hajj. Zakat is a form of obligatory charity that has the potential to alleviate the suffering of millions of people. Given that the literal meaning of the word zakat is to cleanse, Muslims believe that paying zakat purifies, increases and blesses the remaining portion of their wealth. As a spiritual practice, zakat aims to purify our property for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sake and acknowledging that everything we own belongs to Him and that it is for Him that we work to alleviate poverty and support our fellow human beings.
My name is Muhammad AMIRUDDIN bin DAUD, number matric 1193157. Next, type of zakat. First, zakat al-mal. The concept of al-mal al-mustafad refers to the obligation to pay zakat on any property obtained through effort without any exchange process such as sale and purchase. It is obtained for its own reason such as salaries, wage, allowance, gift and so on. Second, zakat al-fitr. Zakat al-fitr, also known as Ramadan zakat, is a special obligatory alms given by all Muslims at the end of the fasting month of Ramadan, regardless of age or gender.
So now we will continue with what is the roles of zakat during the COVID-19. It is estimated that the COVID-19 pandemic has had a severe impact on the economy in Malaysians, particularly in the Federal Territory, because the majority of them reside in urban areas and earn their living through trading. So many industries and entrepreneurs face business cancellation or closure and a reduction in their revenue. So as a result, everybody who is affected seeks help in order to continue their business. To deal with this crisis, Zakat and MAIWP introduced Zakat Emergency Aid, which is Bantuan Zakat Kecemasan COVID-19. Technically, these programs' objectives are assisting the B40 workers and poor families by helping to ease their living burden, so they can keep their best living during MCO. This Zakat Emergency Aid can be divided into 5 programs, which is monthly financial help, additionally special zakat assistance, and then respiratory assistance to hospitals, and then the daily food assistance, and last one is pillow and mattress assistance for a specific homeless facility. So with this assistance, Malaysians with B40 status can continue their daily lives without having to think about the financial crisis they face during the MCO period. Thank you.
To conclude it all, fintech, Islamic bonds and zakat are one of the few instruments of money and capital market that can help people to recover their financial state after the pandemic. Plus, these instruments can generating economic growth for the countries that has been badly damaged due to this pandemic.